Hello, welcome to the United Man. My name is Shane. This is Man United transfer news. Today we will be going through the likes of what's happening with new kids on the block, if you like. Ozan Kabak, David Alaba, Jack Grealish's name has popped up again, as per usual. ALABA DEAL, obviously his deal was looking like it's been completed, and we'll look at Caicedo deal as well and see how that's working out. Stick with me, guys, and we'll get through it all. And tell me your thoughts in terms of what you think is going to happen or not, because let's be real about it. Manchester United and transfers, Man United are, let's say their name is used in terms of kicker deals for other clubs. For example, my opinion on the Ozan Kabak deal, or let's say speculation. I believe there's a certain amount of using Manchester United on this one. He's, like I say, I think he was with Stuttgart, if I'm right, last season. He's a centre-back, left-footed, can use both feet, but predominantly left-footed centre-back. Of average speed. He's got, listen, let's not beat about the bush. He's a talented lad. He's if you like, he's got pedigree. He's got a lot of pedigree. But with this deal, I feel like Ollie, listen, we've spent 85 mil on Harry Maguire as a centre back already. Now, this next deal, should we go and buy a centre back? I believe we are in the market for a centre back. This one has to work out. Obviously, Lindelof was Mourinho signing. If you like, you could say Harry Maguire was sort of Mourinho signing as well, because obviously that's who Mourinho wanted. They didn't give him the funds. It turned out our defence was still rubbish, so we needed to go and sign a centre back. So we went and signed Harry Maguire, which obviously Ollie would have had to. I imagine he would have had to sign off on as well. What's going on, Rushy? Rushy's in the house. Yeah, so with this one, Mr. Kabak, listen, as I say, he's got pedigree. He's at Schalke. Schalke started horrendously this season in the Bundesliga. I'm hoping that, because when you're coming from the Bundesliga into the Prem, you know, it's a bit of a step up. We've seen it quite a few times where we've had German managers come in from the Bundesliga. They're coming in, bringing in their players, and you know, they've not really made the cut, let's put it that way. Now, I'm hoping that's not the case for Ozan Kabak, because that's if he ends up at Manchester United. We're not the only ones that are linked with him, by the way. There are a host of clubs that are linked with him. There's a couple of Italian clubs. I know Liverpool's linked with him as well. I don't know if this is the deal that's gonna be the breaker for us. I don't feel like this is the deal that Ollie really wants to go for. I mean, if you would have seen in the news the other day, there was speculation that I say speculation loosely, because there was his transfer list of players were leaked apparently. David Alaba was on that, Jack Grealish was on that, Amad Diallo was on that, Upamecano, Ben White. There was quite a few players that were on that list, and apparently, Mr. Edson Cavani was on that list. So how true or not that is, I do not know. I'm just happy to see us making moves and deals and whatnot. And I'd like it to be the case that how it went with Van der Beek, where we didn't hear too much about us signing Van der Beek, and we ended up actually signing him, and it was like, where did that come from? Over a space of a week, rather than what we used to, and long drawn out transfer processes. So I'd very much like it to be that case, but it's a January transfer window. Manchester United always get thrown in there with the likes of, I suppose, Real Madrid, who's going to buy everyone every single transfer window as well. Another player that we've been linked with as well, and one that I'm actually pretty excited about the prospects of, and that is David Alaba, who is obviously his contract's running out, and that to me is a bit strange anyway, just purely because the lad is quality. Don't get me wrong, he has had injury problems in the past, but yeah, I'd be pleasantly surprised if we managed to pull this one off for the summer. As I say, it is a deal for the summer because you can sign a pre-contract agreement come January the 1st. So I'd love this deal to be done, like the Amad Diallo deal, where we'd done that. Was it the last day of the transfer window in October? We'd done the Amad Diallo deal, so I'm hopeful that we get this done. And I mean, David Alaba, it's a bit of a strange one. Reason being is because for me, he'd be the perfect partner for Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's, he's seen as a leader in the team. Obviously, he's the captain. Very good in the air, Harry Maguire is. He can sniff out danger from time to time, but one thing he lacks severely is pace. Now, the only one who's got real pace in that back line at the moment is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So if Harry Maguire was to shift over to right side centre back as opposed to left side centre back, which is a position he occupies at the moment, you'd be able to realistically look at it and say, right, okay, David Alaba goes left sided centre back. Obviously, you've got Alex Telles and Luke Shaw as left back combination, and then you've got Wan-Bissaka as well, and Harry Maguire, who'd be, he's very good in the air, as I said. But that being said, I'd like, the injury prone thing cleared up. Okay, what injuries was it that Alaba suffered from? What was the reason for reoccurring injuries and that kind of thing? Because I'm fully aware of players that have had injuries before they've moved, or before they're potentially moving to Manchester United, as well as, well, if we look at for Eric Bailly did not have a horrific injury record before he moved from Villarreal to Manchester United. It's been since he's come to Manchester United he's actually picked up a ton of injuries, unfortunately for him. So I think that playing David Alaba off, left-sided centre back, for me that would work, purely because he's not having to get up and down sprinting every single game, every single minute of every single game down the left hand side. That is somewhat due to the emergence of Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich as well, obviously, who is kind of really stolen the march in David Alaba in the left back position. But that's kind of allowed David Alaba to move into the left sided centre back position, where he's actually flourished and hasn't picked up as many injuries since he's played in that position, may I add. So yes, he has had a bit of a tumultuous time with injuries, but as I said, him playing centre back, he's not having to bust a gut, tearing muscles all the time. If you've got that type of body, you've got that type of body where you pick up injuries, we're having to bust a gut all the time, versus maybe once or twice playing centre back position. I'd like to see this deal done, as I said, because we've got Edinson Cavani on a free, brilliant. We've done a future deal on Amad Diallo from October, who we signed in January, brilliant. I'd like to see this one done as well because, as I said, it's a pre-contractual agreement that you can sign come the 1st of January as his contract runs out at the end of the season. So I'd like to see that done. I'd like to see us making smart deals that aren't costing us the earth, which is why, as I was referring to the other day, it's encouraging that they didn't force the Jadon Sancho deal at 108 mil, 115 mil, whatever Dortmund were after. It was encouraging to see that wasn't held to ransom, purely because, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. I believe he will be there, and the fact that his performances have dropped off since he didn't make the move kind of tells its own story. So I would like to see those types of deals done. We're not being held to ransom anymore. Obviously, we're not in the current climate where we can be splashing the cash. Yes, we still have money, but I'd like to see us be a bit more conscientious with our money as well. And I think that's the way we're heading at this current time. I'll just jump into the comments as well. Where are we at? Rushy, we need to be looking at the French league due to their financial problems, ruthless in the market. That's a very good point there, Rushy. We need to be looking at the leagues where they're struggling a little bit, so we can, as you say, take advantage and make sure we're picking up deals for next to nothing. So for me, the amount of players that go from the French league to the German league, but at, next to nothing, cheap deals. We need to be taking advantage of that for sure. So we need to be acting smart as well. Red Max TV, what's going on, brother? Long time no see, man. Thanks for joining us as well. For those of you that don't know, Red Max TV does his own stuff as well. So make sure you go and check out his channel as well. It's Red Max TV. Javine, hi, what's going on, my man? You right, Javine? And Rushy's making another point in regards to Alaba wants 200k wages per week. Alaba has the same agent as Alex Telles, which is very, very true, Rushy. Rushy is always on point with the transfer advice as well and what's going on there too. Much appreciated for that, Rushy there. I have to make a point on that one where Alex Telles was another signing that we can't. I've been rooting for Alex Telles for about 2 seasons now, I reckon. For us to sign him, or like Bruno Fernandes, why has no one gone and signed him when he was that good in the Portuguese league, Sporting Lisbon and Porto respectively? But for me, those are the types of things you need to be looking at. Okay, who's his agent? Who's his contact? What's his status at the moment? He's running out of contract, and he can command those wages because we're not paying the transfer fee for him. So the amount of money we'd save on transfer fee for a defender of that ilk, say 50, 55 mil, maybe a little bit more, he can command those types of transfer wages, which, may I add, is we can justify that, we can pay that because we're not splashing in cash on the initials, similar to what we've done with Edinson Cavani. Again, the deal with Amad Diallo. These are all deals that we need to continue to make as a club moving forward. In the difficult circumstances, obviously the obvious. So yeah, we do need to look at that, and I'm liking these moves. I'm liking these connections. Again, the Van der Beek deal, where we didn't hear anything about that over a course of a week. All of a sudden, you're hearing one or two bits about Van der Beek. Nothing massive, nothing huge. Then before you know it, Sky Sports are announcing that we've signed Van der Beek. And, I love those types of deals, not the long, drawn-out processes. And I've been saying for the longest while, why can't we do those types of deal? Ryan Anthony's in the house. What's going on, man? Long time no see. Yes, it has been a while, my friend. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I've been away for a while. Had some family issues going on for a bit. Those are also sorted now, so thank you very much for joining me again. Will not be leaving you guys again. So yeah, you stuck with me now, basically. Ryan Anthony also saying, I don't think Sancho will come, to be honest. I think someone like Pellistri can come through and play right mid. And that's a very good point there, Ryan, in all honesty. We do have to look at what we've already got, and I've been stating this case with regard to the centre-back position anyway. We keep playing Lindelof. I feel like we've got, obviously, Eric Bailly, we've got to look past him now, too injury prone, unfortunately. Axel Tuanzebe, I know he's picked up 1 or 2 injuries, but if he's not going to be going out on loan, he's got to be getting opportunities. I mean, you're rotating your goalkeeper, so you've got to look, and we're conceding lots of goals, so you need to look at your defence, obviously. So for me, to not look at the defenders in terms of who we've got already on the books, Tuanzebe, Tedamengi, it's a bit of a fallacy, really. So for me, you have to really, Ollie has to take some of the blame in terms of why we're conceding so many goals, because we're not, obviously Alex Telles is rotating in and out with Luke Shaw, obviously. Wan-Bissaka's playing every single game, which I think he has to at the moment, purely because he's our best defender on the ground, that is. In the air is a bit suspect, but Lindelof and Maguire as a centre-back pairing does not work. It's clear for all to see. We've conceded 21 league goals. God knows how many, including all the European competitions as well. So that being said, that's why I say Ollie has to take some responsibility for the amount of goals we've been conceding in the league, which is 21, which is, 3 more than 17th placed as well. So for me, we have to look at that as well. Alaba would be class. Such a versatile player. He would be a smart move. Yeah, versatile. He can play central defensive midfield as well. For those of you that didn't know, he's operated there quite a few times for Bayern Munich and has looked absolutely class. He's a very good distributor of the ball as well. Obviously very good on the ball, having played most of his career at left wing back. So we do have to take note and take stock of that as well. I did want to look at the fact that as well, with Jack Grealish has been mentioned again, which is all well and good. I don't mind being linked or spoken about in the same breath as good players, as it were. But I can't really see Jack Grealish, first of all, moving in January. And if he did, obviously, Man United, ultimately, I believe we didn't sign him in the summer was purely because the price tag was too high. They was asking for between 80 and 88 million pounds for Jack Grealish. And they just stayed up, obviously. So, that being said, I don't know how anyone would justify paying. He's going to be valued even higher now because obviously Villa are doing a lot better now, and he's playing at still a high level. So a move in January for Grealish, I'd be very surprised if it did happen. I can't see, in all honesty, for us, I think that ship has sailed now for Jack Grealish. I can't really see us signing him. We bought Van der Beek, we've got Bruno Fernandes, still got Pogba, McTominay, Fred. Like I say, Palestri, we just signed Amad Diallo, and those two both operate in the wings. We've already got Greenwood, we've already got Rashford, we've already got Martial, we've already got Cavani. So yeah, I don't see how that's gonna work realistically in terms of purchase for us. Now he has been linked with other clubs as well, namely Liverpool, Man City. I'd be very surprised if he moved in January, and I certainly can't see, unfortunately, as good a player Jack Grealish is, I can't see him moving to Manchester United. Like I said, as good a player as he is, I would have liked to seen him potentially in Manchester United team, but I think the way we set up, the way we're operating, probably doesn't suit our system with the amount of players that we've got in and around his positions now anyway. So I don't see how that could have worked, unfortunately. But that's how it goes. It's that's football, that's life, as it were. The other one I wanted to sort of touch on as well was, obviously it's a deal that we've already got done, but I don't know how the kid is going to fit in. That's Amad Diallo. Deal's been done pretty much, pending work permit being completed. That being said, he's been granted an Italian citizenship. In effect, that's giving him the Italian passport. So, in terms of work permit issues, that shouldn't really create too many problems going forwards, as he is now an Italian citizen. But that being said, obviously, it all depends on, sort of how quickly that was all sorted, I suppose. But as I said, he is now an Italian citizen, has an Italian passport, so that should be somewhat somewhat a formality, I would have thought, and it's said to be so. 37 mil, that should be all she wrote, so to speak. In January transfer window, I would rather just have Upamecano than splash a lot of cash. Now, okay, that's a very good point, Ryan. But there is something going on with Dale Upamecano and RB Leipzig, because I think they have something in place with Barcelona in terms of a deal being signed there. It may not happen, but there's a reason why. His price tag, and he's got a release clause as well, which is pretty low, but it's not, for some reason, there's no deal happening elsewhere. He's just staying at Leipzig, and his price tag's so low, but he's such a good defender as well. And yeah, I'd love to see Upamecano at Manchester United. I think he's ready made. I think if you're talking potential ability, you're looking in the realms of Kalidou Koulibaly. So for me, we have to kind of look at what's going on behind the scenes on that one. I've been reading a fair bit on their Upamecano and why he's not left RB Leipzig yet. Obviously, Timo Werner's left as well. There's no real reason why I'd be staying there unless there was a deal already agreed in principle elsewhere. We all know about the amount of troublesome finance in Spain at the moment, but I've been reading a fair few things, and this has been since the summer transfer window, and I was thinking, surely, if not us, then someone's going to snap up Dale Upamecano. Didn't happen, and then since then there's been like a trail leading straight to Barcelona, so that was an interesting one. I'd love to see him here though. Would absolutely love it. I just don't know whether it's going to be something that would happen either for us, or if it does, if it happened in January. I'd absolutely love it to happen. That he would be my number one centre back choice pairing for Mr. Maguire. But let's see, watch this space, and we shall go from there. But as I say, Amad Diallo is a Manchester United player once all is confirmed work permit wise. So my wire snagged on the tripod. But yeah, I'd absolutely love to have Delta Upamecano. You got me off on a tangent there as well. Some interesting points coming in as well. We don't need Grealish, and we're kind of sort of alluded to that point with the players that we have in that position already. Having just alluding to Amad Diallo just signing now, obviously Pellistri as well, and all the first team players that are in and around that position. Anyway, City are really interested in Grealish. Unfortunately, I mean, I know what you mean there. They are. That's for sure. But I just don't know whether or not we can realistically say that, listen, before we signed Van der Beek, I could have said, yeah, there's potential spot there for Jack Grealish. But now that we've got Van der Beek as well, still retain Paul Pogba. We've still got McTominay, Fred, Matic, Bruno Fernandes smashing it. Obviously, needs to start every single game. And then on further, obviously, Grealish plays sort of off the left-hand side sometimes for Aston Villa, and we've got Rashford there. We've got Daniel James, obviously had a good game against Leeds. We've got Martial, we've got Greenwood, we've got Cavani. So, we're well stocked in terms of the attacking midfield and sort of wing positions as well. And he's obviously not a striker, so I suppose it's one of those. Jacko Stockport, what's going on, Jacko? Good to see you in the house, man. Yeah, and Victor Ezekiel, I think we should looking for a good rather than I don't know with this one actually. I think we should looking for a good defensive centre back and a good forward, because Martial cannot be trusted. I don't know about that one. In terms of trusted, listen, last season, I'll be honest with you, last season I was saying both of Martial and Rashford, I was saying I don't know. I really don't know. With Martial and Rashford, I was saying I'm not too sure here. Reason being is because are any of them going to be 25 plus goal scorers over the course of a season? Rashford hit that, even with a big injury. That's in all competitions, by the way. Martial did as well. So, I mean, but I know what you're saying. This season, he's Jekyll and Hyde sometimes. I know exactly what you mean. I suppose we'll just have to see what happens. Rush's put, just don't see Upamecano happening in January. He won't spend the type of cash till summer, and that's where you get a lot of your big deals done. Which is, historically that's correct. We get a lot of our deals done in obviously the summer transfer window. Jivan, have we really signed Caicedo? It's not a done deal yet. In all honesty, it's a case of, it's an interesting one, because what's been brought up about Caicedo is the fact that if we're to sign him, we actually need to sign him. He needs to sign his contract today because of the Brexit stuff. So that's an interesting one in terms of obviously what's happening with Brexit and obviously being outside the EU and all that kind of stuff. So is Ecuador international? But yeah, that's an interesting one as well anyway. So we'll have to watch this space on that one. But he looks, I don't really know enough about Moise Caicedo. I've only seen a few clips on YouTube. I won't pretend to know anything about the kid, and I like that. I'll be honest with you, I like that. I like the fact that we're going far and away, because this is what the German teams do. This is what the French teams do. They go far and away, find these players, buy them in for next to nothing, then sell them on for mega bucks. So why can't we do that? Why can't we go and find all those types of players and then, sign them for next to nothing and then bring them in, make them into superstars? I'm not saying we have to sell them off, but, let's bring them in, develop them. I like the Pellistri signing, I like the Amad Diallo signing. I like the fact that if we are signing big name players, we're doing deals like pre-contract agreements. David Alaba potentially. Obviously, what we've done with Cavani, what we've done with Van der Beek, a week's deal. Tellers, same thing. We're not spending tons and tons of time obviously getting deals over the line. We're making stuff happen quick, sharp, in a hurry. And like, as I mentioned before, for those of you that missed it, I mentioned earlier, listen, I'm a great Jadon Sancho fan, but I like the fact that we like Manchester United came out and made a statement saying we won't be bullied into a price. And I like that we weren't. I like that we didn't panic buy in the end. And like we did Harry Maguire, we said we weren't going to be bullied into spending 85 million for Harry Maguire. A season later, we spent exactly that. So long as we don't go and spend the same amount for Jadon Sancho, which would then be obviously would have been a waste of time completely. I think we're heading in the right track in terms of our transfer dealings. We're looking at the right types of players. We didn't sign Jack Grealish, for example, because Aston Villa wanted between 80 and 90 million pounds. I truly believe he was all but had packed his bags to move to Manchester. So short of obviously the price being too much. I'm liking what we're doing in terms of transfer deals, and it seems like we're trying to slightly go away from spending these mega bucks just to sign players. I think that's why Ollie still has a job. Ultimately, I don't want to just drop that on you, but I think ultimately that's why Ollie still has a job, because they've seen that he's able to bring through and develop players. He's able to put his arm around players. He's able to. I mean, everyone thinks Ollie's too much of a nice guy. I've seen and heard him in training, cursing out the players and saying this is what I want, grabbing players and saying you stand here. This is exactly what I want. If you don't do this, you're off. Like when he hauled Jesse Lingard off when Jesse Lingard was doing madness on the pitch. He said, if you do that again, I'm going to take you off. Ollie isn't all that much of a nice guy, so we've got to give him some credit too. I'll just jump back into the comments. I've just seen. Okay, where's that gone? Yeah, just on Upamecano there. Yes, we did nearly sign him as a youngster. In fact, I think he was on trial at Man United, and he was deemed not good enough at the time. So it just goes to show, you never know what player's going to end up like. So, we just have to see and watch this space. But ultimately, if we do sign him, it's going to cost us a bit of money. Rushy says Pogba has to leave for us to get Grealish. I agree there. He's not gonna be staying. Listen, if this lockdown thing wasn't happening, I don't think Pogba would still be here. And if he was still here, he'd be gone in January. If he was still gone here after January, he'd be definitely gone in the summer. That's how much I think Pogba wants out at the minute. What's going on with the Caicedo? I think we just touched that one as well, Jacko. To be fair, Arsenal for a relegation battle. Ryan starting trouble in here, man. I like it, Ryan. Yes. That's this is in relation to the Caicedo thing, which I was alluding to a moment ago, that he would need to sign his contract today with relation to all the Brexit stuff, and signing players outside of the EU after today would basically make things a ton more complicated. So yes, that is what is being. Well, that's what I'm reading at the moment as well. Mad Mark UK, you'll only buy big players who are past their best years. Well, Edison Cavani, we signed him on a free contract. We didn't actually buy him, so I don't know. In terms of we've signed Alex Telles in his prime. David Alaba, if we do sign him again, that'll be on a free, and he's in his prime. So I don't know if that's completely accurate, but fair play. That's a good point. Hopefully we're past that business model. It doesn't work. In terms of just spending cash, I completely agree. That doesn't work at all. I think right into the pair we've just bought back. We've bought in. Okay, so Rushy, Daniel James, Bruno Fernandes, Arasaka, Diallo, Pelestri. Only older players are Cavani and Igalo. Okay, that's a good point. Right, where are we? I think in all honesty, what I was going to go to next was an interesting point, really. Where's that gone now? I need to get that off. But An interesting point I was going to touch on as well. There's a player I believe that we're kind of missing a trick with here. And he's really on Man United's books, and it's doing my head in. Because, as I said before, yes, we're looking at signing Upamecano, we're looking at the Ozan Kabak, we're looking at David Alaba in the centre-back positions, where I believe there's a potential to play someone that was already on our books. I'm not talking about Eric Bailly, who's obviously injury prone, not Axel Tuanzebe. For some reason, Ole, remember the first game, his first game back against PSG, where he played against Angel Di Maria, Neymar, and Kylian Mbappe. You know, three of the most lethal forwards in the world, and he Neymar for one quiet and got man in the match. Can we remember that? Did we remember that was his first game back in 10 months, 11 months, and he kept Neymar and Mbappe quiet. His first game back, he played since that game. And he's not been seen since. I don't understand that at all. I don't know if he's injured again. Well, he's not listed in the name of injured players. It's Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo at the moment. So why Twins didn't get a run in? But listen, that's not the player I was talking about. I was actually going to refer to Mengi, who again, he played one game, I think it was. Looked decent, looked good. And we've not seen hard nor hair of him. Now, if we're rotating our goalkeepers, for crying out loud, your goalkeeper, which is the one player in the whole pitch you don't normally rotate or mess with, if we're doing that, why are we not rotating Lindelof and another, Lindelof and Tuanzebe, Lindelof and Mengi? Why are we not rotating those three, I should say? Because to me, we're looking at signing a centre back. We've got two centre backs that we've not really given a proper opportunity to. Tuanzebe went out on loan to Aston Villa, done really well. Came back, started in the pre-season, got injured, was out for 10 months, came back against PSG, done fantastically well against the best in the world, and we haven't seen hard nor hair since then. So I'm not really understanding Ollie's philosophy is with that, and that's why as I said earlier, he's got to take some of the blame with regards to the amount of goals we're conceding, which is 21 in the league. You know, he's got to take some responsibility for that, because he's setting Lindelof time and time again. And as I said before, for me, Lindelof, nope, he's like a Fulham player, a Fulham starting caliber player, centre back, or Championship for me. Not for Manchester United. He's not outstanding in any one department. Is Victor Lindelof? He's not. He's not super strong. He's not good in the air. He's not a brilliant tackler. He's not brilliant at reading the game. He's not brilliant at bringing the ball out. So you 7 main must-haves as a world-class lead centre. He's got none of them as a Manchester United starting centre back. Got absolutely none of them. So for me, no, he shouldn't. You know, there's no reason why we shouldn't be rotating any of them. In all honesty, Lindelof, you're not going to take captain, obviously. I think Maguire started and played 90 minutes in, was it 62 games last season in all competitions? Madness, absolute madness. Oh, Abraham, what's going on? Oh, thanks for joining us. Mengi has been poor for 123s. Might be a bad idea to chuck him in and then end up ruining his confidence. I agree and half disagree. Reason I say I agree is because yes, I've seen some under 23 performances, but then he played the first team was very good, and then also if you're playing in and around better players, your performance step up quite significantly. Whereas you're playing with under 23s, yes, you need to be staying out. But for example, when you get players coming back from injury, for example, when Robin van Persie played in the under 23s, when Eric Bailly, Scott McTominay, all those guys, they never stood out in the under 23s because you're almost playing within yourself because you're playing at a less level, so to speak. But I can see that point. It's a good point. Tuanzebe, I don't know what's happening. That was my question. What's happening? You guys starting on Mad Mark when Salah leave. Dear me. Okay. Right. Anyway, I want to get back to the point of I don't think, and this is a big statement I'm about to make. I don't think we're too far away from having the squad to start challenging. And the reason I say that, I'm not saying that we're going to win the league or anything like that, but what I'm saying is we're not too far away from having the squad. So that's the starting 11 and the supporting cast from starting to challenge. And that comes from having the squad as a whole and then developing them as a whole, having a tactical system to go to, which we still just sort of like settling with counter-attacking. Sometimes we do play nice football, ticky-tack, and when we do break down teams and create opportunities, but it's never continuous. It's never sort of like a continued period in every single game, like for a 10 to 15 minute period in every single game. It's like every 3 games or something like that. We'll have a 10-minute period of tiki taka football. Most of the time we will rely on our counter attacking football. So yeah, man, it's one of those. But I'm just hopeful. That we need to give opportunities to players that we've got, but also these signings, I think we're a CDM and a centre back away from being, long term. When I say long term, next 2 to 3 season title contender. I think we've got the goalkeeper in Dean Henderson, hopefully, fingers crossed. Minus the other day, his first mistake leads to a goal. I think we've got a left back in Alex Tellez, who's very going forward and creates a lot of opportunities defensively. Harry Maguire, he's got his abilities, captain, so we're going to come out that starting lineup. Wan-Bissaka, defensive beast, but we need a centre partner for Harry Maguire, and I think we're going to be coming up to that within the next couple of transfer windows as well. So I'm looking to see if we can. Where's that gone now? Mentioned this guy's my preferred choice, and I believe that's why I say preferred choice. My preferred is a realistic, I should say. My preferred choice, as I said earlier, is Dale Upamecano all day long. However, my preferred choice as a realistic target is David Alaba. I believe we may make that signing, official. I don't listen. I always say there's a telltale sign. There's not teams been linked to this player. That's normally when you got 6 or 7 or 8 teams linked to a player within the media. That's normally their agent trying to spot, and there's 1 or 2 teams interested, but they speak out to the media. Oh, this team's interested, to try and get the teams that are actually interested bidding. Out of fear. When you're only seeing 1 or 2 teams linked to any one player, I normally suggest one of 2 things. 1, that player wants to go to that specific team, i.e. Manchester United on this occasion with David Alaba, or 2, that there's a lot of facts in what's been reported. So I believe it's a case of, look, we've stolen them much, which is what's been reported in most sources, and I think we're in a good position realistically to go and make these deals, and I'm liking. I'll say it again. I'm liking the deals that we're putting forward. We're being put forward for. We didn't go and get bullied into the 108 to 115 million pound deal for Jadon Sancho. Pulled out of that one. The 80 to 90 million pound deal for Jack Grealish. We didn't get bullied into that one. I believe both of these deals were done. It was just a fee interview. I think that's so. That being said, I'm pleasantly confident that we're going to make the right signings going forward. We're signing youth now. We're not signing 15, 14-year-old kids, that have to go into our youth system, and then we'll see what happens. We're signing young talents that can come and potentially impact the first team. So I'm hoping that we can. This is our new transfer ethos, and the last 2 transfer windows have been encouraging in that. So I say watch space. Like I said, the deals with Tellez, Van der Beek, Cavani, all that kind of stuff. it's encouraging. It's been very, very encouraging, and I'm hoping that we continue. We you know we make it known that we're not going to be just, and teams will stop throwing silly figures out to Manchester because they know they've got the money. Because they know we can't afford it. For example, if other clubs were bidding for Jadon Sancho, it would have been in the realms of 80 to 85 million, which I believe Manchester would have paid and were willing to pay 108 to 115, 120, whatever it was. Yeah, I just feel like realistically we're on the right track in terms of our transfer dealings. Moise Caicedo, that one looks like he's had to sign his contract today because of EU restrictions as of Brexit restrictions as of tomorrow. Amad Diallo, January 1st. David Alaba, hopefully that's a pre-contractual agreement agreed for the summer. Ozan Kabak, just the only one I'm not too sure about. He's been linked with the clubs as well. I just feel like Man United's name's been thrown in there. But he's been linked to Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, by the way, generally have the monopoly on top German young talents coming through. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that unless Man United are going to be paying through the nose. Anyway, thank you very, very much for joining me on this lovely transfer update, isn't it? I suppose. Well, I'll be keeping what I'm intending to do, rather than reporting on the transfer updates every single couple of days. I'll wait till there's tangible information that I've gathered and researched on, and be able to give you fact from fiction, so to speak. So I'll probably do a transfer video every few days as opposed to every day or every other day, just so I can weed out the truth, basically. And I'm hoping basically we can make the right deals. That's what I'm hoping. Right, where's it gone now? I'll be back. That's what I was going to say as well. I'll be back on, obviously, if we do have any breaking news, and when and if we do have any breaking news whilst we're live on air, you will be seeing this come up. If we have any breaking news whilst we're live, so I just had to put that graphic on there. But yeah, we'll watch this space, and I'll be back on. Oh, before I forget, well, Monday 6 p.m. from now on, I'll be jumping on Flying Pigs channel, and we'll be doing a podcast on there. Every Tuesday, I'll be doing the Old Rivals podcast with I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday with Ainsley and Cam, and we'll have guests try to have guests most weeks. If not, it'll just be us three. Obviously, like I said, the previews, reviews, transfer updates, that'll be standard anyway. But I'll be on Flying Pig podcast on Mondays. I'll have my own podcast on here on Tuesdays, and we'll just keep going like that. So if you guys do want to join in, let me know. Message me on my Twitter feed, or drop a comment on the YouTube videos, and yeah, then we should be good. To be fair, thank you very much for everyone that just jumped in. Ready Player 2. Yeah, Shane back on the YouTube. What's going on, Maximus? Yeah, so thank you very much to everyone joining. That's Joel Abraham, Rushy, Mad Mark, Ryan Anthony, Jocko Stockport. Who else jumped in here? Who else have we got? Mad Mark UK already said that. Absalom Williams, much appreciated. Guys, I shall see you in the next one. Stay ready. See you in the next one. Take care, guys. See you in a bit.